You know, I came out here today, just got through listening to Derek's video, and I decided through Father's granting of it that I can make a video and to try to maybe help somebody else understand what maybe he's trying to say from my perspective. So I'm standing out here and thinking about what I'm wanting to say. I've probably tried to make this video 20 times already, and every time I do, something interrupts me. I get rained on, or a bird flies by or gets too loud and you can't hear what I'm saying. There's many birds around me. I'm trying to do this where I'm out in the open. Why are we here? What do we come here for? If I think of what Derek says, and I consider myself a child of the eternal Father, then I recognize that I'm eternal. And through that eternal understanding, then I recognize, okay, then somebody calling me an old soul resonates with me, or resonating with me helps me to understand that maybe I've had many lives and that I've learned a lot of life lessons. Which brings me to understand that this is what we're doing here. We're trying to learn life's lessons so that we can carry them with us into eternity and use them as understanding, physical evidence understanding, because the best way to learn, for me anyway, is to experience it personally. That way it's embedded with me into me as my truth. And that's where our truths come from. And then I start thinking about, where's all the truths come from that I didn't experience, yet I still know them as truths? Well, then that means that through my Akashic record understanding that these are things that I've experienced in past lives. And because I've experienced these in past lives, I've carried these on into this life for better understanding, which brings me to this life. If we've had many, and this is the end of the ages, then I have to believe that there's a special purpose for me being here. And that comes to, we have to understand, this is what's really the funny part about it. We have to understand that we are the ones deceiving ourselves. The ego that we created, that we allowed to manifest into this world. The ego is Satan. That's the office of Satan. It's held by our ego. It is our adversary. It is the one that separates us from the Father. When we think of self, we're separated from the Father. The mark in the book of Revelations, it talks about the saints have to be sealed. And that mark is put upon their forehead, and I'm trying for the life of me to understand that, and I think I got it. I think that mark on the forehead has to do with constant thinking of the Father, looking for constant revelations within ourselves, to recognize who we are, and to try to find our purpose. Well, if I consider the fact that in eternity with Father, I came into this creation, I allowed my spirit to be put into this skin flesh, this avatar flesh, this fake world, this delusion, this matrix. And that the purpose of this world is a test, then it makes it easier to understand that all we're doing is transferring information. Self-experienced, self-aware information to ourselves, our higher selves, for the purpose. Hold on. Higher selves. Why does that seem so familiar? Yet I've never understood it until I just seen it. If a higher self is the real you, and the real you is pretty much manipulating your test as you're living to see where you would go, what you would choose, who is the real you. Then we start recognizing that we are brought here by ourselves to test ourselves to the point of perfection. So basically, if I came here to test myself, if I came here to be the separation from Father, if I chose to separate from Father, then ego is what is guiding me. Because ego is the separation from Father. Ego is in the position of Satan. And if ego is in the position of Satan, and I don't want to serve Satan, means I have to let go of ego. Which brings me to the point of dying to self. It's funny, I've built my whole life to be this character, to be who's standing before you. And my whole life I've often felt fake and unreal. And now I recognize that I can't really put my finger on reality anymore. They say if you touch it, feel it, smell it, sense it, and taste it, that it's real. Yet I can't touch, feel, taste, sense, or smell my brain. Does that mean it doesn't exist either? So, in many cases, it's probably true. It probably doesn't exist. However, that's not what this is about. This is about where do I exist? What is or who is the spirit that animates this flesh? And that's who I'm trying to find. And the Father wants me to find that person. So, the truth is, I sent myself here from the spirit world. I drank the waters of forgetfulness. I entered into this flesh suit that is designed to keep me in a certain element of energy, to keep me under pressure, to see if I could pass my own test. My own test. Therein lies their perfection possibility, is we all know that if we test ourselves, truly test ourselves, we know what would test us. We know what we could throw in front of ourselves to push our buttons. And I think that's the purpose of this life. I think that's the purpose of every life. Our higher selves put us in this realm for the fiery furnace perfection, trying to get clarity and understanding, try to see how we would react in a situation, how would we react with others, and how they react in situations. To put the information before ourselves, but yet shed no light on it. It's funny how we do that. Anyway, this is food for thought. This is information. This is, I hope, helpful. Now let's talk about the truth and the lie. What is the truth and what is the lie? That's the point of discernment. If ego takes the position of Satan, and Christ takes the position in your heart, and Christ is the Spirit of God in man, then the kingdom is within us, in our hearts, I would imagine. And if the kingdom is within us, then we should, through the Christ, through the Spirit of the Father within us, we should be building our own kingdom within us. A kingdom of purification, a kingdom of righteousness and understanding and unconditional love and forgiveness. Both of those first major keys. Because unconditional love and forgiveness are going to build a strong kingdom. Because nothing can go against those two. And that's the point of Jesus walking on this planet, is to show us that we can be that way. We can be unconditional love. We can be total forgiveness. That we do have that power to forgive. Anyway, this is just something I wanted to put on video. I wanted to think out loud, and I wanted to put it on video so that I could either go back and watch it, and if possible, send it to others for them to visualize it. Everybody who's listening, everybody who's not, I love you. I have the ability to. Father gave me that. I love you with all my heart. Thank you for listening.